The blooms are tiny. Okay, I should have got plants that have bigger blooms mixed.
Hey Christina, I think it's a beautiful garden. I wouldn't return any of the plants, but for anyone interested in looking for an impactful garden, which is what Christina's trying to do, I have a few ideas that I think will help. And it's something that you can do with non-natives or natives, preferably native plants. But if you're going to choose non-natives, just make sure they're varieties that are unlikely to escape the garden. So for starters, you're gonna think about height. So you can start with um, a rhododendron, which is gonna have like tall, like spindly branches, right? With like a lot of like flowery leaves. This is the kind of shape that a typical wild rhododendron will do. We've shrubbed them up in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not an artist, but here we go. And then you could do something that's like a fern of some sort or something very tall in the background, okay? In front of that, you can do tall flowers like you did with your foxglove. So things that are tall and trumpety, that works really well. Or this is a great time for big leaf lupins because not only do you get tall flowers, but you get tall leaves. And when the flowers are spent, um, you still have the nice foliage, and it's a different shade and shape, so it's going to add more character to the garden bed. Then you're going to do things that are small and dainty. And I know that doesn't seem impactful, but if you do something like bleeding heart, which is another small and dainty flower, it's got more lace-like leaves. And then it has the pretty pink heart-shaped drooping flowers that you get. So this is going to add texture and color and variety to your garden space. And my point here that I'm trying to make is that you want something that is different. So I understand your frustration with only trumpet flowers, but you also don't necessarily want just big flowers. Small flowers can be just as impactful as big, showy flowers. So to illustrate, the orange is like my showy rhododendron, which I know you're familiar with, followed by like your lupins. So the lupins have more pea-shaped flowers and they're more vertical, or you could do the foxglove, which you already have, and then something small and dainty near the bottom. So you've got different heights, different bloom times, and different showiness. Lastly, you're gonna want some kind of ground cover at the front of the bed and intermix throughout the bed to hide all the dirt. The ground doesn't like to be barren. It likes to have something growing on it. So having a ground cover is excellent. This is going to illustrate the beach strawberry. Strawberries grow really, really well here. And so they're not only going to add a floral interest, but they're going to add an edible interest. So the thing about beach strawberry is that you'll have flowers throughout the whole season, like throughout all the warm months. And as each flower, is spent, it's being replaced by an edible fruit. Now, rabbits are likely to get to it before you do, but if you happen to get to them before the rabbits, they're very, very sweet, almost like candy. They're so delicious. So for a truly impactful garden, you want to consider height, different varying bloom times, and varying colors. You've already got the height thing figured out and you have varying colors, but you do have pretty much all the same bloom time. So once all those flowers are spent, you're just gonna have a green garden bed, which is fine if that's what you're wanting, but you're gonna lose interest and you're gonna want to either dig up and replace or wish you had planted something different. The most impactful gardens are the gardens filled with variety, not the same thing as everyone else for starters, and not something that all blooms at the same time. Keep the excitement growing, do various bloom times, and you'll have a very impactful garden. It doesn't have to be giant flowers. It can be tiny flowers mixed in with big flowers. And throughout the whole year, you'll have something beautiful and interesting to look at and to look forward to. Sorry, this was a long video, but I hope that helps.